Hey guys, EBPMAN here, and today I'm going to share with you the first 11 things I do to my Samsung Galaxy S9. Let's check it out. Now, as soon as I get a new phone, I always immediately start personalizing it and setting it up just the way I like it. So in this video, I'm going to share with you the top 11 things that I do to my phone, and I'd love to hear which are yours. So I'm going to share with you the tips, some of the things that I do to make the experience work like I like it to, and also to get the best experience from my S9 or S9 Plus. So if you have some tips that you like to do every single time you get a new phone, or features that you'd like to enable, leave it in the comment area. So let's get right to it. Make sure you hit that subscribe button so you can get notified when new videos become available. Now, before going through the tips and tricks, I always get the question, what's your case and what's your screen protector? So I'm going to leave a link in the card area that's going to show up right there, and it's going to highlight the video installation of this awesome screen protector. This is white stone glass, and you can see bubble-free installation, very little to no fingerprints, and also it has no dust. Second question I get, what case do you have? Today, I'm rocking a UAG, and this is the Monarch series. So the first few tips are all about starting up and using your phone. So we're going to talk about security and also some convenient features. Now, turning on your phone can be accomplished by pressing this button here, but also if you enable it, you can actually press on your screen. And you'll notice that I have a button there. See that button that's right there? That's a virtual home screen or home button. If I press it and my phone is unlocked, it's automatically going to come to the screen. If my phone is locked and I press it, it will go into whatever lock security I'd like, but I don't have to press that little side button. Now, to get the nav bar to show up, or that little home button to show up when your phone is locked or off, all you do is you go into your settings. We're going to go into nav bar. In nav bar, we're going to go into navigation, and then there's two settings that I look at. First of all, I like making sure that I have the right pressure sensitivity. So you do a hard press of the home button, and the pressure level is something that you can configure here and you can test it. And then what I also then do is I use this option right here, which is the unlock with home button. Right now, remember, if you have security, the security is going to still be in place, but what it does is it allows you to skip having to press this little button here on the side. Now, as a bonus tip, one thing that I get, depending on the phone that you're coming from, your navigation buttons may be different, and the navigation area here allows you to change the order. So for example, here I have my back button, my home button, and my multitasking. If I wanted to switch those around and have them change, what I could do is I can just choose whichever one I want just by clicking on these, and you notice that now the button's changed. So I can go from one setting to another, and this is important if you're coming from a Pixel or you're coming from another manufacturer's phone and you don't really like the order. So flip-flopping them around is going to allow you to be more efficient when it comes to your navigation. Now, the next tip is about security. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into the menu and we're going to look at our security options. Alright, so in order to get this feature set up, what we're going to go is swipe down once. You're going to go into settings, and what we're going to do is we're going to go to lock screen and security. Once you go into lock screen and security, there are several options that you can choose from. First is the intelligent scan, which is going to be a combination of your face and your iris, face recognition only, iris scanner, or fingerprint. Now, I'm going to have a video that's going to cover each one of these in details, but I recommend that you at least establish one of these methods to lock your phone. So really important to do that, especially now that you can make purchases with your phone. So you'll want to have one of these for security types enabled, and it's really a snap to set up. Now, the next thing I do is I also set up an auto restart feature. Phones are computers, they're very powerful computers, and they need to be restarted at least once a week. So I set up my phone to restart every week at a specific time that I'm not using my phone. So let me show you how you do that. So the easiest way to find it is to go into your settings, go into your search, and then type in auto restart. And when you go into auto restart, you can set the time that your phone will restart, and you can set the day you want it to restart. So I have mine set up at 3 a.m. every Sunday. It's going to restart, and that's going to make sure that my phone is always fresh, and I've never really experienced any latency unless I have a misbehaving app. So that's how you can go ahead and have that restarted and always have a fresh phone every week. Now, the next tip also has to do with performance, and this is about how do you keep your phone fresh, especially if you're using your phone and you have a really intensive day and things are acting a little sluggish and you don't want to restart your phone. Notice how you have this little optimize button. When I tap it, it's going to go through and it's going to clear my memory. And there's a quick way to get that. That's actually a little widget that you can add, because you can actually get this feature. Notice how I cleared up all this memory. You can get this feature by going into settings, but I just want to show you a quick way to have an optimize button so you can always get your phone up and running. So what we're going to do is we're going to tap here on the screen. We're going to do widgets, and then what we're going to do is you can either search for it, or you can just swipe so you can see all the ones that are there. And you say you have a device maintenance, and there's two options here. You have one that's going to show you everything that's going on with your phone, or what you can do is just get this little widget. I'm going to press it, drop it on my screen, and now anytime I want to optimize my phone, all I have to do is tap that and it's going to optimize. Now the next tip has to do with the brightness bar. This is something that drives me nuts. Notice how you don't see a brightness bar, and then you have to put it down twice in order to see it. So if you go here and you say show on top, right? I'm going to hit done. Now when I bring this down, the brightness level is right there at the top. Check it out right there. Pretty easy. Now the next tip is all about Bixby. I use Bixby for certain things, but it could be annoying when you're swiping to the left that you get Bixby show up here. And also the button itself, you may press it by mistake and launch Bixby. So I'm going to show you how you can disable that screen, and also how you can disable the button without really losing Bixby if you want to play with it later. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to swipe in with your fingers just like this, move over to the Bixby home, and disable that. Now once you've disabled that, you'll notice one thing that will happen. It's not there anymore. Now, in order to disable the Bixby button, you're going to press the Bixby button to bring the Bixby home up. And once it's up, what we're going to do is we're going to come up here. Actually, we'll go into the settings, and then we're going to disable the Bixby key. Now, by disabling it, you won't inadvertently tap this and turn it on by a single press. You can still get to Bixby by double pressing if you want to use it, but that single button press will not enable it anymore, which is great because if you mistakenly press that button instead of hitting your volume down button, it gets annoying when Bixby comes up. Now the next feature I use a lot when I'm in my car or I'm on a run, and that's how do you create a trusted device. Now the trusted device process is going to be automatic when you select a Bluetooth device. But if you haven't enabled it or you didn't know what it was and you shied away from it, let me show you why it's a great feature to have. So you're going to go into settings. You're going to type the word Smart Lock. And when you go into Smart Lock, it's going to require you to input your PIN. And once you input your PIN, you have multiple options. The one that I use the most is trusted devices. I don't use on-body detection. I don't use the trusted places, nor do I use the voice match. But the trusted devices I do. And the trusted devices is important to me because I can set up my car, my headset, or my watch. And by having those set up, it means that if I am in my car and my phone is connected to my Bluetooth, my phone will be unlocked. If I am on a run and I'm wearing a specific headset that I use for my run, like let's say I'm using my Plantronics, my 65Ts, or I'm using my Gear Icon X, I can go to my phone and my phone will not be locked as long as that Bluetooth connection is established. Or in this case, you'll notice how I have these two devices on. This device is going to be trusted, and it means that the lock screen, my fingerprint sensor or my retina scan or the smart intelligence scan is not going to be required. Incredibly convenient, especially if you're in a vehicle or you're somewhere where you need to have access to your phone for navigational purposes, and it sucks when it gets locked up. So this is one thing that I highly recommend you do. Now if you're someone who really uses your toggles in this area and your notifications area, one of the things that you can do is gain access to it much faster than actually bringing your finger to the top. So if you do this, you're going to bring in your apps. If you do this, you're going to bring in your apps. Well, you can actually configure one of those slides or define one of the slide gestures so that it will bring in your notification area. Let's press right here, and we're going to go home screen settings. And then what you can do is you can choose this option that says Quick Open Notification Panel. So you're going to choose it, and then we're going to go back, and we'll go back, and now watch the difference. When I go this way, I get my apps. When I go this way, my notification panel comes down. The next feature I enable is my Do Not Disturb function, and I'm going to show you where you'll find it here. So if you swipe over, you'll find the Do Not Disturb, and you see it right there. I'm going to press and hold on it. And let's see, here it is. And I basically have my phone go into do not disturb mode at 10 p.m. to 7 a.m. every day. Now there are exceptions. I can have people, my family, my favorite contacts, will be able to contact me even if I have this feature on. So what this does is it eliminates all your calls, text messages, anything, any beeps that are going on, status updates will just go away and disappear. And you'll notice here that the allow exception says alarm only, but what I could also do is have set custom. I could say mute everything. And then also I can establish specific rules for each one. I use this religiously. So every day it goes off. My wife does the same thing because sometimes if she's following someone on Twitter, she doesn't want her Twitter notifications bugging her at night. So do not disturb is a great feature to have. And at the same time, you can actually turn on do not disturb at any time. And it's more convenient than using airplane mode. I know a lot of people use the airplane mode, but I like do not disturb because I want to still get those messages, that information coming in. I just want to choose to see it or not. Now the next tip has to do with removing apps or disabling apps on your phone. And it drives me nuts when carriers just give you a ton of bloatware. If you have an unlocked phone, it doesn't have any bloatware, but I have an AT&T variant here. So what you can do is in many cases, by pressing and holding, you can either uninstall the solution or you can disable it. In some cases, you're going to be able to uninstall it. In this case, I can only disable it, but disabling it makes it goes away. So here I can do the same thing with smart limits. Go over here and I can uninstall. So if I want to get rid of this, all I do is uninstall and it's gone. And all you again have to do is just press and hold, and you get these little choices on the top to do that. So those are all my tips, things that I configure to get the best experience. I'm going to give you one more, and then I'd like to ask you, what tips would you give to someone who's new to the S9, coming from an older version, or just new to Samsung, that they should configure immediately to get the best experience? Let me know in that comment area. And then the last tip I'll give you, because I always get this question, is how do you do a screenshot? And that is you're going to press the volume down button, and you're also going to press the power button. Or you can set up a smart gesture, which we're going to show you in the next video. So all you do is press and hold, and I got my screenshot, and then here you have some choices that you can either share, edit, and do some really cool stuff with it. So those are all my tips of things that I do immediately when I get my phone. Let me know what yours are. Make sure you subscribe, hit that, smash it, tap it so that you get more updates to new things coming about the S9, accessories, chargers, and cases. Thanks for watching.